I'm impressed. I really am.
I'm not.
What's going on? You hear that?
The house is shaking. I'm like, whoa.
Shakshuka.
Shakshuka.
Yes.
Hey, we've got a problem here. Houston, we have a problem.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel, Flying Right here. If you're just tuning into this video is part 2 of a 3-video series I'm doing on a stage 2 full upgrade on my buddy's 2021 CVO ROAD GLIDE. I'm going to link part 1 of the video up here so you can check it out if you want before diving into this video. And before we dive into this video, I am Flying Ride, and on this channel I focus on motovlogs, ride videos, reviews, upgrades, cinematic drone footage, and all things on my 2020 Street Glide CVO. So do me a favor, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell notification so you can be reminded of content like this one in the future. So we're headed over to my buddy Nedal's house now to start the stage 2 upgrade on his 2021 CVO Street Glide. And as I shared in the first video, this video will focus on the average individual doing the stage 2 themselves. There's a ton of professional install videos, many of them by the companies making the parts that we're using on this video, that go into all of the technical and mechanical aspects of the upgrade. This video will show you the entire process DIY from the average individual. That said, this is now the 4th or 5th time my buddy Nedal does a stage 2 on his bikes, and we'll be joined by other friends of ours that know a lot about the install and what it takes. As a matter of fact, we're gonna have a cameo appearance by Mr. Holy Shift himself on this video. He actually posted a shorter version of it last week on his channel, and he cooked up some delicious breakfast for the crew that we're gonna show you here before we dive into the install. So, on this video, you're gonna see the entire DIY process, all the parts, the total price, talking through our take on the install, do's and don'ts, and you will also see the great camaraderie of a bunch of guys working collectively on the bike in the garage. And finally, you're gonna get to hear what this beast sounds like at the end of this video. Let's jump right in. All right, so before we get started with this build series, Mr. Holy Shift, there he is, back there. Mr. Holy Fish.
Holy Chef now.
Holy, that's right.
Chef.
It's Mr. Holy Chef.
There's one thing that I have to do before.
All right, wait, hold on. I don't know. He just disappeared. Where did he go? There's Mr. Glenn right there. What's happening? How you doing, Glenn? Mr. Nedal, our host. Oh wait, there it is. Whoa, look at that hat. Hold on a second. Oh, look at that. We're gonna make one that says Holy Chef. He made some breakfast here for us before we get started. So, Mr. Holy Chef, what is this? What did you make here for us?
It's called shakshuka.
Shakshuka.
Try to say that. If you shakshuka.
Shakshuka.
Yes, it's a Mediterranean dish.
Okay.
It's a breakfast dish. Actually, Nedal said it's Moroccan. I'm not sure where exactly it originated, but pretty much it is.
Wait, hold on. Let's see that real quick.
Wow.
So what's in it?
So it starts with onions. Okay. Look at this.
Wow, that looks pretty amazing.
2 eggs. So it's got onions, red peppers.
Wow.
Garlic, parsley, cilantro, eggs, cheese, cooked.
You had me at garlic. I mean, that's it.
And a lot of paprika. A lot of great.
And was this tomato sauce? The red sauce?
A lot of. Yeah, I didn't say tomatoes. A lot of tomatoes, diced tomatoes, tomato sauce.
Wow.
And it's delicious. Usually eat this with tahini. Tahini on the top. But Mr. Nedal over here doesn't have.
He doesn't have it. Nadal, no, you don't have tahini? I mean, come on.
No, I don't know. I don't want to call my wife. She's getting her hair done. I'm sure there's.
You heard that, right? Yeah, I'm gonna leave this on. I'm gonna leave this on the video, just so you know. All right, Sandy, just show me a little bit, please. Yeah.
Yeah. 1 egg, 2 eggs.
1 egg is good. I just want to taste it. Okay. Thank you so much.
So eat as much as you want. I'm gonna give you 2 eggs. So eat as much.
All right, perfect. If you give me 2 eggs, I'm gonna eat 2 eggs. Yeah, I know. We eat what's on the plate. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm gonna taste this, and you're gonna hear my reaction here. Of course, before we start this build series, I'm gonna be doing so much work in this build series filming that I have to have a hearty breakfast here. Nedal doesn't know where anything is here. I'm digging in here. Oh man, look at this.
Holy Chef.
Mr. Holy Chef. The new name.
Very good.
Wow.
It is.
All right, here we go.
I've had it before.
Enjoy it.
Yes. Thank you, Sandy.
Mmm.
Good.
Amazing.
It's like a stew.
Wow. Thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna dig in here and enjoy this, and then we're gonna take you outside and start this build series. All right, so this is ready to go here. We're about to start. All right, so like I shared with you in the video, this build is not going to be focused as much on taking off the parts, right? Because that's the easy part, correct?
Not to mention, if you can't take it apart, you shouldn't even be putting it.
I agree. So we're going to walk you through. Here's what we're going to do. He's going to walk us through what he did to take off. We'll start there. Then he's going to walk us through the parts and show the differences between stock versus what you're going to put on. And then we're going to walk you through step by step in the order that he's going to start the stage 2. And then I'm just going to put the camera here so you can see it. Again, the goal is for you, if you're interested in doing a stage 2, you could come to this video and watch it step by step. So let's get started.
We started off by the breakdown. So what I did first is I took saddlebag off to get to that, took this plate off, removed the exhaust, removed the cam chest, took all the components out. We removed the cam chest, push rods. I used a bolt cutter to cut the rods. And that's it. And then I put all the parts here. And I got a new air cleaner because I wasn't confident with that small stock air cleaner that Harley. Even though it's a high flow air cleaner, I think this pushes more air in it. So that's the change on that one. This is my S&S.
So wait a minute, so you got a different...
Yeah, here, I'll put it up against... For me, logically, I can't see this taking in a lot of air. It's got a lot of restrictions. So I figured that this might do better. A better job.
I mean, I think just looking at it,
exactly,
you would think, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, this looks nice, but I'm not confident. I also mind you, we changed the spark plugs, the heavier duty. Not to say that those are not good. That the spark is still the same, but these are just thicker and they look nicer. So that's what we did. And we're also replacing the stock spark plug wires with the stock spark plugs with the Screaming Eagle spark plugs. Okay. And we'll show them the difference when we're done. Right. Now back here to the components we took out. First, we started out by taking out the cam plate. Yep. And you can see the difference between an S&S Cam Plate. Yep. And I'm not going to knock Harley. Harley makes a comparable cam plate for the Screaming Eagle, but they don't put it on the Screaming Eagle that you buy. You figure you're buying a Screaming Eagle, it should have Screaming Eagle parts. But no, you have to buy them after. And here's the difference. You guys can see, even in the weight and the quality and the cast, it's just a dramatic difference on that. Also, from watching the guys at Moonshine Harley-Davidson, I want to give them a shout out because I did learn a lot from those guys. They really know what they're doing. They said to replace this one. They said the stock one has play, and we'll show them the play that it has. This, so the timing is a little off. So I went out and under their advice and bought this one. Now here's the chain tensioner. Again, better quality than your stock. You can tell by the pieces. The pieces. Yep. This we're leaving the same. Okay. Now here's the topic, the big topic. Harley did upgrade their oil pump. This is a good oil pump. If you buy a 2020, 2021, you're getting a good oil pump. If you don't have the extra cash, I would suggest you keep it.
Keep it, okay.
But for me, I like to keep everything in sync, everything S&S. So as you can tell, very comparable.
I mean, look, it's comparable, but it still looks more robust.
But this one has an extra layer of filtration, a screen and all that. It's a better product by far, but not to knock the Harley thing because it is good. Now, if you're talking pre-2020, garbage.
So if you're doing the stage 2, Nedal is doing it with the upgraded pump. However, you don't have to do it. So that's one option as you're watching this video that you can save some money on if in fact it's 2020 and above.
2020 and above, they have the upgraded pump. Okay. Here we have the star of the show, which is the cam. This is the Redshift 472 cam. Okay. And this is the stock cam. As you can tell, look at the lifts. It's a difference, a bigger lift.
Bigger lift, it's also thicker, right?
But you can tell, especially on this one, the lift is higher on this one. That I know for sure. Okay. Now, here's what we were saying, that the Tappet cuffs. Yep. Harley has this, and I'm not knocking them because when I was looking at all the other videos, they made it look like this was some kind of flexible rubber. But when you actually look at it, it's pretty sturdy. It's pretty sturdy. I can't bend it or anything like that. So, but this one's made out of aluminum. Billet aluminum, so it's a better quality. But Like I said, nothing, I was expecting, yeah, it's plastic,
What's interesting about
but it's
this
a
is
hard
it just
plastic.
looks so different to me. I guess, well, obviously, that's the same.
Problem
The space is the
was,
same.
is in here, where the lifter would spin inside, where this, it can't spin. It's much thicker.
Right.
So that was the problem. The lifters were spinning inside of this cuff.
Really?
Show me, is there a different design? Is it different? No,
It's about the same, like I
but
said.
it's much thicker. Look at.
It's a better quality piece. I mean, these things are moving real fast. They're moving fast.
Spinning in there with that.
And then we have the tappet covers. And then for this build, we're gonna need adjustable push rods because I don't wanna open up the top end, and you'll see how much easier it is with that. And I left one of these
So these are adjustable push rods.
adjustable push rods. And
As opposed to
not adjustable push rods where you have to take the heads off and insert the push rod. And then I left this assembly for the end so we can show you how to assemble that. These are already assembled. Again, the Screaming Eagle spark plugs, much better spark plug. You can tell just by looking at them.
Okay.
We'll be replacing that. And that's about it. We're gonna start by removing the cam bearing.
Okay.
And I have the Jim's tool to remove the cam bearing. Again, for the Jim's tool right here, it says in and out. There's two positions. So we're removing the bearing, so we have to say out, remove. That should be facing down. That's the plate just to align. Because these things has to take it to remove the bearing. So now, here's the bearing removal thing.
Suck this bearing out.
You have to get it straight, so
It has to come out straight. If it doesn't, the inside bearings, the needles, will fall inside the motor, and then I'll have to take the motor out.
Not to mention, it also brings it out nice and straight.
That's right.
That's-
Well, that's
yeah.
the key.
So if you have the tool, look, it sets everything up here. Nothing's gonna fall. It's all gonna get locked in. That's why it's worth it. And then we gotta align these
Watch
things.
that. We'll look at that one and compare it, and you'll see the difference.
We're gonna put it where it says remove. So the holes are aligned. You see the R? See, now it's fully seated in.
All right.
And then we have to put the tube in there so that these things don't expand. As you can see, it had a thing. By putting this in there, it'll prevent it from expanding. It's going to come out. Exactly. It's totally aligned.
Okay.
And it's gonna grab.
And
that
pull out.
bearing and pull it right out.
Let me put some oil on that just so the threads come.
lubricated, huh?
Yeah, that's right. It's all. You guys should know it's all about lubrication.
Nadal's, look at Nadal's eyes. Nadal, show where's the eyes. You see they're blue?
He's not full of shit.
blue.
Yeah. No, he's full of.
This thing is green. Blue green.
I was hoping you say, you see, his eyes are blue and they're not brown, so he's not full of.
And you thought you were only here for a stage 2 upgrade. We're here for some entertainment today, apparently, yeah.
This screw is going to start pushing the thing,
yeah,
pushing the thing
pulling
out.
it out, right?
Let me see. So we finally
Okay, that's
finished
it.
taking
Got it
it till we got out, and then we'll remove this.
One side he was holding this part steady.
And then
So it
turning
doesn't
it.
move, and then turning this clockwise. And that whole thing, that movement pulls the bearing out.
The bearing out, that's right. Mr. Holy Shift.
Trying to
Saying it how it's done.
elaborate a little bit.
He is very elaborate, I'll give him that.
Obviously, in this video, nobody's worried about the comfort of the mechanic. You guys are in the chairs, and then I'm here on my back. So as long as he asked me, "Is your garage heated?" I said, "No, bring your heated gear. We'll plug it to the bike." And
There it is.
There's the old bearing. Came off,
Wow, look at
off
that.
of there.
Let's see it real quick.
And now we're going to do a comparison too.
Where's the bearing? That's
right
it?
here. You see it.
All that work for that little thing?
It held it on, and then it pulled it out using this, and then. But I know it's perfectly aligned.
All right.
This is a beautiful tool to have.
Put that in there.
Would I have that?
Yeah, you can do
So
it.
that came out of in there.
That's the key thing is, if you can see here, Harley's has less rollers and there's spacers between the rollers. You see the metal there? That's
right.
In between that. If you look at your aftermarket, it's straightforward. Tons of rollers, no spacers, nothing. So that
And why is that more advantageous?
more because it rolls better. More rollers, it gives it a smoother run. We took out the camshaft bearing. Yes, this one. As you can see, there's spaces and gaps between each rollers.
Yeah.
As opposed to the better quality one is just straightforward.
And who makes
Tons
that
and
one?
rollers.
That's an S&S one, or?
S&S and Fueling makes it. Any company now, if you're doing cams, they'll send you a better.
If you look inside this bearing, you're gonna see spaces in between the roller and the bearing. You see that? That's called a cage. That's a caged bearing, okay? Where this one is rollers up against rollers. There is no cage holding that. So it's a much better bearing. It's a much stronger bearing.
Awesome.
And it'll last a lot longer.
Hey, Mr. Nadal, come on.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you.
Make your choice. Take your choice. Take your choice. Only my good friends get it.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you. I like the black, Sandy.
yours.
He's
I
like me,
appreciate it.
picks the
Thank you,
black.
Sandy. We'll put it on right now for the build. And he did it for a shameless promotion now.
Mr. Flying Ride, one for you.
For me too?
Yeah, you get to pick.
I said all my good friends.
Oh, I like that one.
That's yours.
Oh, that's nice.
And already,
Thank you.
Glenn got his.
I got one already.
Glenn, you
so-
got yours? Oh, I love it. Oh, this is coming out right now. Look at that. Mr. Holy Shift. Make sure
Right
you go
here.
check him out. He's got an awesome channel.
Now we're going to do the install. Now to do the install, this cam plate has, for removing it, the removing's got to be face down. For the install's got to face down. So now we're ready. And that we use this tool. Now to get to this tool, we have to thread it in. And we don't thread it in, now we're going to put it in the remove.
You're doing a great job, Sandy.
And we're not going to thread it in all the way, just like an inch into that, so we can put the bearing. All right, so now we're good. And now, as you can see, it has a recess here, so you can't push this bearing in too much any further, so it's going to set it perfectly in there. That's why it's essential to have these tools.
So
If you're going
bottoms,
to, once it bottoms, you know that it's set perfectly.
So it won't go in too far.
It won't go in, and look, as you can see, it has another set of recess in here, so it just gives it the perfect setting for it. So we're gonna put it in. 2 seconds ago, you were talking about keeping it PG, and now look at you. You just couldn't contain yourself.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. You're doing great work, man. This is fantastic.
Where's that?
I'm gonna do more videos like this. Little collaboration.
All right, now here's another important thing. Now, when we put it on, the numbers have to face you. As you can see, this has
What numbers? What are you talking
there's numbers, because if you're wondering which side should go in, always the ones with the numbers should
Why,
face
is
you.
it conical? Is it
Yes,
conical
exactly. As you can see right here, it has a shape so it can slide right in. So remember, numbers facing out, and we put it here,
Numbers facing you.
facing you. Yes. So now we got to align the holes where it says install. So
By the way, that's Mr. Cycle Fanatics on the phone. We're videotaping you on the phone, John.
Hey, you look good, God bless you.
But yes, and I can't wait. That's gonna the 117, nice cam. I can't wait.
yeah, and we're gonna get the custom dyno too probably next week. I'll call the guy once this is done.
Awesome.
See, now we're just turning it till it bottom says you can't turn anymore. That's why I had the recess, and that's why this tool I think is essential. That's it.
There you go,
It's,
that's it.
it's bottomed out.
Bottomed out. Okay.
So that's it. And now we reverse it.
So would you say this is the most labor-intensive part of the install? Is
Yeah, well, no, yeah. This is as you can see, there's force involved here, but everything. The rest of it is all torque specs.
Okay.
So that's it.
All right, cool.
And for anybody out there, I'm renting this tool, $10. So now, as you can see, with the Jim's tool, it's put on perfectly. That bearing, you see, the recess is perfect. Everything's perfect. So that's your peace of mind right there.
Yeah.
All right. So now
that was
the cam removal and install. Now we're ready to install the oil pump, and then we're going to do the cam plate with the cam. But before we install the oil pump, we have to lubricate it with assembly lube, all the parts, and I'll show you how to do that right now. And we have to make sure that these rotors go in the same order that they come out. So that's what. And also, what I did last night is with brake fluid, I cleaned these parts 100% because from the factory they might have some dust, some metal that comes in when they make it. So it's always a good idea to clean your parts. So now we'll start with the lube.
Right where you need it. It's on the
Now this is
assembly lube.
engine assembly lube right here.
And just so you know, S&S provides you with
when you order it,
it comes with a lube.
Okay.
I love S&S, and not only do I love their products, I love their tutorial videos. I've learned how to do everything with them. They're very detailed and they're very precise. So if you want to learn how to do this, I would highly recommend S&S. Now, what some people do, and I've seen in other videos, is they assemble the whole pump at once and then put it in. No, I like to go by stages, make sure everything fits nice.
That's just preference.
Again, it's all preference. So I want to make sure that this pump is seated nice in there. So we're going to put the first part of the oil pump, and we're going to put a little oil on the thing. All right, so now we're ready to go to the bike and do. Let me just take the dowel off. And now, like they say now, I've seen two people say things that S&S strongly recommends not to put it on the pump and then squeeze it in. But I've seen videos where they say no, put it on here and put it in. But I'm going to go with S&S. Okay. And I think Dave said put it in the pump and then put it in, which was totally different. But I don't know.
I thought Dave said it in the motor and then pushed the pump in.
I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But like I said,
So you're going with the put it in the motor and then push it in?
Yeah, and then push it in, because you don't want it to bend or bind.
Feel it.
Yeah.
Like going smoothly.
Let me see my big
See it right there.
So it's in there. It's gonna make sure it's
What I
seated.
think is if you put it on the pump,
It could bend it,
it could
crease
pinch
it. Exactly, you don't want it. And this is critical here. This is out of the whole thing, this is the most critical part.
If you forget that,
all right.
And let me go get the O-ring that came. And now we use the O-ring that came with the Harley pump. S&S doesn't send you the O-ring.
So you have to use the O-ring
that came with
the original pump.
Pump and
That's
put it here.
important
Yeah, of course.
on the S&S.
Got it. Okay.
All right, so now here we go. First part, we got to make sure it's seated in nice.
You gotta understand how it's working. The number one wrencher is Nedal.
Yep.
And there's a peanut gallery.
Doing all the work. Then you've got Mr. Flying Ride 15 over here that's
There we go.
videotaping it.
So you see, I went in, you
Yeah,
heard the pump,
I
now
heard it.
you're in good.
I heard a click.
Inspector,
Yep.
the manager over here, telling
Overseeing the
everybody
whole
what to do,
operation,
what
yeah.
not. And then there's me.
All right, so for those of you watching, once you put that in there, you heard a small click. That's how you know
It's seated.
It's
Seated in properly.
seated in properly. So hopefully you heard that in the video, but if you didn't, make sure you're hearing it if you're installing this.
And if you don't hear it, you'll feel it when you push
Push,
it in.
push.
That it's sliding in nice and smooth. You never want that to pinch or be off on an angle, because then you're gonna have problems.
All right.
The pump will not seal, oil won't pump through the engine properly.
Yeah, that sounds like a big mess.
Yes,
Then
then
you
you
don't want
have a
that
problem.
happen. There you go.
And now we have to
How are
put,
we gonna deal with the mapping of the?
I have the Powervision, and again, I'm going to give a shout out to Fuel Moto. Beautiful customer service, knowledgeable, always there for me. And if you do buy a dyno jet from them, the Powervision, you get unlimited maps with them. You don't have to pay for them. So I got it with a stage 1. They send it to me with a stage 1. I send them an email saying, look, I'm upgrading to a stage 2. Right away, within 3 days, they send me the map with the stage 2.
How does the map come?
In an email, and then you hook up your Powervision to their software on the computer and download it from the computer onto them. But it's unlimited. Again, every motorcycle is different. If you really want a good tune, I'm using this just as a base tune, but to get there, because you don't want to start up the bike without any kind of tune. Eventually we'll take it to a dyno tuner and they'll dyno tune it. All right, so now we're putting our first set of rings. We got everything nice and lube.
Putting what, Loctite?
No, get out of here. Sandy.
That'll go well.
Sandy. Don't take any mechanical advice from Mr. Holy Ship.
Mr. Holy Ship just said.
Blue Loctite, red is too strong.
This is
Engine.
assembly lube.
So
That's what you put on.
we like to be generous with the lube.
Yes.
So we put the first set of rings.
And how do you know which side goes?
I'm going to say every channel when it comes in assembled, it has where it is. So don't take from there and there. I go step by step according to how it was assembled.
Okay.
And now I'll show you the key thing. We'll put the outer one in first.
What I'm saying is, you see how you went in, so this is facing out, is it the same way?
It's the same way.
Or- okay.
Only one is gonna be different is in this one. There's a recess cut here.
Okay.
In the first one, and the recess cut has gotta be facing the motor.
How you know where the recess cut
Right
is?
here,
Oh,
don't
there
you
it
see,
is. Yep,
right there?
I see it.
That has to be facing. That's the only thing on this install that you really have to be mindful
All right,
about.
so really important,
The
right? There's
recess.
a recess there, that's the one that goes facing the bike.
Facing the bike. The recess end goes facing the bike, and that's
Or you can put the
critical.
whole pump together.
This is all about preference. This is an option. We're showing you this option
This is
here.
the way Nedal likes
You
to
can
do it.
also do it building the pump outside.
There
There you go.
See now, yeah,
This is the outer piece of the
This is
pumper.
the inner.
The inner.
It has 3 sets of rollers or whatever you want to call those things.
Okay.
Vanes. So then we're gonna put this in. Let's see.
This one is a midway support kind of thing?
This is the first one, and then the inner. There's a mid, and then there's an end.
That went in there perfectly.
So and now we got dowels that we have to put in to seat the rest.
All right.
So these are spacers to let oil through that whole thing?
Those when they rotate, they push the oil.
In stage, there's 3 stages to that pump, or 2 stages.
Oh,
whatever
it
is.
separates the stages, I see, I got you. And it moves from one part to the other.
Yes.
Make sure you
Very
have.
cool. One's for pumping it out of the crankcase, and one's for pumping it through the motor.
Oh, those are the little things that you
Yeah,
put on the side
dowels,
there
yeah.
before, right?
The dowels.
See how smooth
Another
that went in
set
there?
of the same, I got it.
All right,
But
now,
this is all personal preference. There's
and again, this only
mechanics-
goes, this one only goes in one direction, correct, Nadal?
Yeah, there's no recess cup.
there's no recess
The first one was
The first one was the only one.
Yeah, you had to be mindful of where the recess was. This?
When Dave assembles an engine,
There it goes.
No, now we got the
he
other.
doesn't put the pistons on, it's backwards, yeah, he did something
And this is
differently.
is this the last piece of it?
Yeah, and then there's gonna be another set of those things, those plates, so, but, like I said.
Yeah, I think he pushes it through and then he attaches the wrist pin on it.
Can never have
That's
too
the way he
much.
does it. But as
See, we
he-
gotta
as-
line up
as
the
he's putting it
dowels.
on, Then he puts the wrist pin through.
So he has the play, so he has
Yes.
the play.
There it goes.
Make sure you put the master flasker in, okay?
See, we learned.
See what I'm saying?
You just felt it.
Yeah.
And when it's all attached to the plate, it's all aligned already.
The last set of these little things.
How did he get?
All right, so oil pump is in, nice and lubed up. Make sure, it's very essential, the lubing, it really is.
Okay, now what are we gonna check now?
I'm gonna check the clearance, make sure that this is seated properly, it doesn't extend beyond these metal things, so we can put the cam plate in. Also, no, one thing that nobody talks about in videos or anything like that, that I did for myself is, before we even started this whole build, is I changed the oil on the Harley.
That's right.
I didn't care if it had 1,000 miles on it, we're putting in new components in there, I want fresh oil
oil.
with all the fresh,
Okay,
this is critical now to see that the oil pump doesn't stick out fast when we put the cam plate. So you can see we take a straight edge. Well, this straight edge is too big.
big.
I'll get another straight edge. It's not, perfectly flushed on both sides. That means the oil pump is perfectly seated. Now, if it was sticking out,
yeah,
then
right,
you would
so
know.
So
That's why
what we're
we're
looking for here, right? So basically you want flush right there.
So we know that
And
cam plate's
that's
gonna.
flush right there.
Is there
Exactly.
any chance or any way that it would go further in?
Yeah, if you didn't press it in, it
No,
would
but
go.
Further out.
Further in?
No, further in it can't.
No,
There's
because
a-
they're burying
yeah.
everything wall to wall. Stop it. It's wall to
So
wall.
like I said, this is only to make sure that you get a perfect fit on the cam plate. Next is the fun part. We're gonna be installing the cam with the cam plate.
Okay.
And we're gonna lube it up, I'll lube it up here.
All right, this is what it's all about right here.
Up till now was lubrication. Extra lube.
So he's lubing it up on both of these areas right
And I'm
there.
gonna lube up the,
And this is not Loctite.
no, red Loctite, nonetheless. We will be using red Loctite to put the bolts in, these two that hold it in. Now, look, zippers are the men, they lubed it all up and everything.
They put some on it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna put a little
Definitely
bit
put more on.
extra.
You haven't ridden this one yet?
All right, so here we go.
Let's go.
This
All
one-
moved up.
Slides right in.
Wait, hold on. So one direction only,
Yeah,
obviously?
obviously the ones that you're gonna put to there, the geared out.
Okay,
Because
all
we're
right.
gonna be bolting
right, I got- there
the
you go.
pinion.
Just goes in.
Just goes in right
The
there.
sprocket and the chain go on.
Uh-huh, there you go,
And then this is another,
Now that gold will ride on that.
on that. Okay.
So then,
And you see the thickness, how much more
Yeah.
meat you got.
Okay, cam is in, and now the cam plate.
There it is.
and it's seated perfectly.
Seated perfectly.
Beautiful.
Take a look at that. Look at that. That's a thing of beauty.
It is beautiful. It's a shame. It's a shame that nobody can see the blue because, right?
Look at
Yeah.
that. Let's just leave it open.
Yeah. Okay. And now,
They don't have a clear cover?
yeah. Camilo has it on his bike,
Oh,
so you
okay.
can see.
All right, so you do have a clear option.
It Trask.
Trask.
makes one.
All right. So now
Simmons
here we're
makes
gonna
one.
go. We're gonna first put in the cam plate and torque him down, and then we're gonna put the bolts for the oil pump by hand, and we're gonna rotate it 2 times in order to set the pump.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
So,
There you go.
Make
So
sure
and
it's
then-
all aligned.
yes,
And
and
you
then
can
tighten
tighten
down.
down.
And now you can see again. Shout out to S&S. Everything's numbered, so we're gonna put them in the order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
there you
So they make it easy for you.
Foolproof.
It is.
All right, so here we got some blue Loctite on the screws that are gonna go
To support the cam
to
plate.
support the cam plate.
Again, shout out to S&S. They provide the blue Loctite. Hey, we gotta appreciate it.
If you're watching,
So again, we're just gonna put them in hand tight.
and if you want to use my other camera to take some really nice pictures.
Honey, I put 110. So I need them halfway. And in the order that they say to torque him. When you take your parts out, you gotta wash them all with brake cleaner, and you wanna install everything nice and clean. Not only that, I even brush the insides of there so that you can get a good torque. The biggest problem in doing these builds is stripping a bolt.
And me editing all the front
yeah. I did a take 2 just so you can edit it.
But he needs to find it.
We'll do number 1 first.
Number 1, okay. Do you go in order 1, 2, 3?
Yeah,
You
of
go
course.
diagonal?
No, you go the order. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
You gotta follow it.
Got it.
You should have.
Should brought him in for.
Yeah, but I don't wanna. Should I bring it in for?
Yeah, bring him into
Touch
just
it.
talk. That way you don't screw with that.
It's 1.
Oh, this one.
2 clicks. That torque.
Okay.
All right, so now we have to rotate the engine twice, 2 times, so this faces up. It means that the oil pump is perfectly
That
seated.
means all the veins now will be properly.
The things we were fidgeting with.
Down, and it'll be set.
Okay.
Now I'm going to remove the spark plugs because removing the spark plugs helps you to turn the. And mind you, it's in 6th gear. We forgot to say that in the beginning. Yeah,
so there you go.
in the beginning of the video. Now I'm taking the spark plugs out. How do you like the red spark plug wires?
I love it.
You have red sparkle lights on this?
These are the heavy duty. When we do your engine, we get them in black.
I have
But they're
I have
heavier.
2 sets of
I
black
need red at home.
But mine match the red.
Yeah. Oh, if you matches, yeah, if you can get it. But look, Sandy, just so you know, and it's not really for spark purposes. It's just, look at the difference. Look at this shit. Look at it.
I have 2 sets of those.
Where'd you get that?
The Harley. And I drove all the way to Staten Island. They were so hard to get.
Sets.
Of red, of black.
I don't care. I'll take them in black.
They have them in black and shoreline.
No?
No.
For a twin cam.
Ah, okay.
Because these are
what are you
4
doing here?
spark
Oh,
plug
you just-
wires.
Took
Twin
us.
cameras too.
Yeah, my wife got me there because I kept losing bolts and bolts. I would send her to the freaking place to get it, and she comes back with one of these. She says, "Just grab them."
$2.5 of Harbor Freight.
Yeah, that's it.
And then I'm going to put the spark plugs back on because the reason I put them back, you don't want any dirt, any chance of any dirt getting into your motor. So that's why.
There's 4.
4, yeah. My twin cam only has 2. This has 4.
And you remove all 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let me see. If with the 2, it's good. Yeah. I wish I would have known that. I wouldn't have taken the gas tank apart.
Yeah, that's all you need is 2 out.
But we took the gas tank apart. It gave me a chance to change the spark plug wires. So, not a total loss.
I brought the wires to Dave, and you know what he told me? What are these for?
Really?
I go, well, put the wires on it while you're doing it. He goes, why? Why are you spending money you don't need to spend? And I brought him the spark plugs, he wouldn't even use them. He says, I use the stock plugs, they're just as good, don't kid yourself.
That's Screaming Eagle.
That's what he said.
Yeah, but for me, I told you in the beginning that it's not, it's aesthetics, purely aesthetics.
Dave doesn't like you to spend money that you don't need to spend.
Let me see. Yeah, that's why he'll do a cam job with the newer ones without changing the oil pump.
Yeah.
He'll tell you I'm not changing.
You don't need it. And he even says the cam plate's fine.
No, I don't think so. I don't.
That he says it is.
I get it,
But if
but
you're gonna go further,
looking at it, I mean, it's,
You can tell. I mean, certain things. It's
it is
logical.
better, yeah.
It's just like Jerry saying, "Oh, don't touch your CVO," but I'm not
My
doing.
mentality is it's open.
yeah. So
Let's
do it.
change it.
Let's do
Let's not leave the stock shit.
Yeah.
Let's change it. We got it open already.
I agree.
I didn't realize that the wheels, the rims over here are, the spokes are external.
Yes.
I
That's,
love
so you get a
that.
tubeless
I love
tire.
that. I love that look. I like it better than mine. Mine doesn't come with that. Mine's a regular all black rim.
I can't see. Is this the right size? I'm fucking going.
If you took one out of it, it's the same size.
No, it's too small. No wonder it's doing nothing. Edit this out of the video.
Yeah. Tell you that. Luckily, I'm off after the 22nd.
I had it somewhere. Here, let's see.
I think most of the rain is supposed to be in the morning. It's going to be cloudy the rest of the afternoon, but I think the rain's going to stop.
Good.
You guys are riding tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll see. If we get this bike started, we're riding.
All right.
One minute every 1 hour for the next 3 days.
Hey, listen, if it's making a difference, man, for sure.
Here's a critical thing. We're going to rotate it twice with this facing up. So see, it's facing
All right,
up.
5 hours.
Gonna see?
Oh, look at that. Whoa.
That's one. And then we're going to do it twice.
Oh, you can hear the suction.
The
going.
compression.
Oh, that's awesome.
2, right there.
There it is.
That's it. Now we know that the pump is
All
moving freely. And after that, we're going to check it out again to make sure it doesn't bind.
You can actually hear the suction.
Yeah, the compression, that's the compression.
Oh, right. So,
I'm tightening the oil pump.
The oil pump.
oh, gotcha.
Before
these
it
are
was
getting
the cam
100.
plate, right? And then
No.
now we're tightening up the
Get
oil
them hand
pump.
tight so we can torque.
And it goes in that same order.
Yeah,
right?
8. This one's,
Eight.
again, shout out to S&S. They make it 8.
Same torque?
Yeah, 110. 100.
Dave says you don't change stuff that works.
Plates installed. Now we're going to install the chain and all that. But first, we're going to install it without putting the chain on just to check another clearance. It's got to be 9/1000 of an inch. If we have 9/1000 of an inch, then we're good to go.
What is 9,000?
What is-
inch?
0.0009. Now you'll see when we put it where. Now when we put, we're going to put the pinion here and the pinion here. And then we got to make sure that they're aligned. We're going to put a straight edge from one pinion to the other pinion to make sure there's no gap. Now, if it was off like this, it's not good. It has to be perfect.
Let's see.
One. And now, as you can see,
So this is what we were talking about before. See that play? Yep.
That's timing.
that's timing it at every inch. Like I said, Dave does a good thing where he puts a shim, he shims
That way
it
you
in.
don't have to spend the $65.
Exactly. So now,
Let's see it now.
and now this one. To be honest, I didn't see that much of a difference, but it's still a little tighter to go in. You see it?
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
You see?
Oh, yeah.
You see? Now there's no
What a
movement.
difference.
And
What a
that has a lot to do with timing. Again, this one,
timing
this
right now.
this one we get a shout out to Moonshine Harley-Davidson because it was Mike from Moonshine Harley-Davidson that explained it.
What do we got? What is this?
Now we're installing this and we're checking the gap between the two pinions to make sure they're aligned. There's no gap, and you have up to a 9/1000 of an inch in order to for it to work.
Yeah, he's going to have to show us that because I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
All right, hold on. I need to go over there, guys.
You need light?
Just line it up. Take your time. It'll go.
Should be the big teeth.
What? Doesn't make sense. That should have been on the bottom. Am I wrong?
No, you're wrong,
There's
Sandy.
not enough meat.
Yeah, there's not enough meat of the bone there, man. Oh, there it goes.
If there's not enough meat.
There's enough meat. There's enough meat.
That's all it needs.
That's all it needs. That's
But
all
isn't- and anything else can go on this side?
Right now.
to check.
Killer gauges to check.
Okay.
Then he's gonna put it on the chain and then slide both sprockets on at the same time with the chain.
Yeah, but yeah. And we're gonna torque this to 15 foot-pounds.
Did you check for the gap yet?
No.
Once it's all torqued down.
So this is what we're talking about, Sandy. You see the point between these two things? They can be, if this one was further out, they can be more than 0.009. So if you can look, feeler gauge in there. Let's see, go this way. Feeler gauge in here. There is no gap. You see, it's actually tighter than 9/1000ths.
And is that okay?
That's good. That's good. If it was loose, if you can put the feeler gauge with this, it means it's unaligned. You would have to change the shim in the back. And I did buy zippers this and buy different shims.
What are you trying to figure out?
You see, when you're going chain to chain, these must be aligned 100%. So in order for you to make sure that these are aligned 100%, you put a straight edge and you check for the gap in between here. So if this was out sticking more, it wouldn't be, and now that creates tension on the chain and the timing.
So Sandy, basically, you got to make sure that these are perfectly aligned.
Yes, exactly. And you get up to 9/1000ths of an inch, they allow you to play. So that's why we put the 9/1000ths of an inch
I got you.
feeler
Yeah.
gauge,
So
and we're good.
if there was any space in any of these areas here, again, for those of you that are watching, then it would not be.
It would not seat it, and then you would have to change the spacer in the back to a different shim in the back. So now we're going to torque this down to 15 foot-pounds of torque, and we're going to back it down a full turn, and then torque it to 34 and 24 foot-pounds. So,
One's the crank and one's the camshaft.
all right, now let's go.
The top.
So that it's one solid piece.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's right.
Make sure your timing is.
Is it aligned? Yeah.
How do you know the time? They're two.
The two dots.
There's two dots, you gotta line
See?
them up.
And now let's-
So he's making sure that is perfectly aligned.
See, I need that. I need the. Now this is critical, and take it from me, from experience. I did that. We started up the remember the street glide, Glenn, and your Glenn's like, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't sound right.
Why
So
I put both sprockets on at the same time.
Yeah.
So you don't have to deal with this. This is harder to align.
Harder to align this way, right? Okay. Yep, there it goes.
see, yeah, now we're good.
So you see these two dots? They're perfectly aligned there. One side and down.
If those are the timing, if that's off, the timing will be off.
Yeah.
All right. So these.
That's what happened in this previous install.
Two dots.
And with a twin cam,
There it
it's
goes.
worse, because now you have two cams.
So that looks pretty aligned.
Like a dot over here.
Yeah. For this, we're using red Loctite. Let me put a little oil over here. And we're going to torque it down to 15 foot-pounds. And we're going to rotate it one full turn and then torque it to 34 and 24. For you guys out there, red Loctite is a stronger Loctite than the
blue?
Than the blue, yeah. For like critical engine things that are hard, you use like over there in the compensator, you do use red Loctite for that.
You can take the mask off for a second.
Yeah?
This is just for the guys.
All right, cool.
You know, I'm not a YouTuber.
All right, so now we're gonna lock it to 15 foot-pounds. Gotta switch this to 15 foot-pounds. I'm trying to do work and you guys are fooling around here.
Oh,
Yeah, hold this for me.
He always tricks me. Can you hold this for a second and then he disappears?
Yeah.
I gotta go freaking charge batteries, man. I'm running low. I gotta go.
Because let's change the other one.
15 foot-pound?
Yep.
That's pretty much, that's a lot.
No, that's nothing. We're gonna, at the end it's more. This is just so we're gonna back it out a full turn, so the red Loctite can sit in their seat properly. So now we're gonna tighten this. 34 and 24.
Got you. Oh, so you got the Loctite all the way
Yeah,
further.
yes, exactly. There we go. And then 24. There we go. That's the hardest part. So cam is done. Now we're gonna install the cam chain tensioner again.
Yeah, I heard that statistics. No, 24 hours you felt like
All right, fellas, take a picture. The cam job is done. This is basically cam install. Now we're just gonna put the outside of the cam plate.
That was easy.
It really was. If it wasn't for you guys talking and fooling around.
That's what makes it go quicker, right?
Cam. Yep, and then we're gonna do the tappets with push rods, and that's it. And then put the exhaust back on. Now, Glenn.
Loctite.
Then now you're gonna say you did the whole job,
Look at
all
that,
right?
This is brought to you by Flying Ride 15.
Don't you need Loctite back?
Yeah.
He locked them all before he went there.
And after this, what's
After that, we're gonna do the push rods.
push rods?
Your hands are lubed, they're not oily.
All right, we're gonna come back to you here in a second with some push rods. What's next, the tappets?
Yeah, and we soak them in oil. They come soaked in oil, but I take it an extra step because when I did put them in oil, I did see the bubbles come up. You want them what's called charged. So when you bleed them down, there's no air in the gaps.
There you go.
All right, so now when we put these tappets in, we're gonna put them so they're facing this way.
What does this
The
way mean?
flats. You see
Oh,
how
I
the
see the
flats?
flats, yeah,
Because
okay.
that's the way they're gonna be aligned with those. From the bottom.
And they go up and down and lift the lifters. The
push rods.
The push rods.
And
Push
that's
rods
what-
lift.
push rods lift the valves.
The valve, the rockers.
The rockers.
That rockers push.
Rockers open and
Push,
close the
push
valves.
down the valves.
They open and close the valves. There you go. Now, when he puts the cuffs on,
I have to do a gap
he's
too.
gonna rotate the motor with the cuffs on.
No.
Before
Before I put the push rods, I don't need to rotate now. I need to just make sure there's a gap when we put these on. All right, and this is front.
All right.
Remember contamination.
Red carpet when I come here.
Enough for the Willow.
I gotta put the feeler gauge in there to make sure that,
My guy
that
says
these lifters are not binding with them.
It's a drug.
Of course.
All right, that's done.
All right, so we just finished installing.
The tappet blocks. Now we're gonna rotate the engine to see if there's any binding and
Over here.
if there's,
It's not moving without binding.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah. How come only the left are moving?
Because he's gotta make a full rotation.
All right, now we're gonna put the tappet covers.
The gaskets in there and then the
Let me
covers.
see.
Now
everything is
now
flush.
it's good.
All right.
It was opposite and backwards.
And backwards, yeah.
This is my bike.
The foreman did the covers, right?
Yeah, the tappet.
All right. Did you approve? Do you approve?
Let me just do one more. Put the push rods in. And doing that, I'm going to show you how to assemble the push rod thing.
Okay.
So it usually comes like this. So we have to add the springs. We take the old springs from our old setup that Harley had.
Okay.
So we put the spring.
Spring goes in first.
Spring goes in first. Oh wait, and then spring goes in. Spring goes in first, and then here, and then comes this, and then the washer.
The washer at the top. Okay.
And this is the way it is. Now, these are gonna go in, lift up,
Right.
and then we're gonna put the gaskets from there.
gaskets
And then we're gonna do this thing to.
So you already built these?
Yeah, those are all built.
Those are all
I
built. Okay.
built that. So we're gonna do a trick that we have. And no, I like to put the gaskets in so they don't fall in the engine. Put them at the bottom. Yeah, we're putting the top O-rings for the,
It's a brand new, we just got it.
Yeah.
put the 4 O-rings, if you wanna see them.
No, it's not like-
Put the 4
You have the keys
O-rings.
in?
I'm doing this trick we learned to live, while we adjust it so we can, so those things holds them up so it doesn't drop down. See, so now I can
Little
work,
rubber band.
I can work on this, I can work on that thing. The paper clip with the rubber band trick. Before we do that, I forget that this is on the base circle, and by the way we find that out is when these two move like this, it means that this is on the base circle, because you don't want them to be compressed.
Top dead center.
Yep. So we gotta rotate the engine to those two. It's not just the jacket. So just Glenn, you hold it, and I'll tell you when. I mean, you push as you do it. All right, here, one more. All right, I think it's got to be up and down. See, so now these two are moving up and down. It means that this is on top dead center. It's not on the lobe. So when we compress them, it's the valves. Yeah. So
adjust the push rods correctly.
yeah.
They have to be at the top.
I don't think people understood what you just said. You want to explain?
Well, this is how we.
You have to get this cylinder.
Here.
Hold on, go ahead.
These are what moves the push rods up and down. Now, in order to have it, you have to have those tappets or whatever, what are they called, the rollers, sitting on the flat spot. You can't have them sitting on the top.
Okay.
So that's why we have them now. By rotating that, we know that the back ones are on the flat side of here. So when we adjust the push rod,
has to be at, the back cylinder has to be at top dead center. The front cylinder has to be at the bottom to adjust the push rods properly. So you're doing the back cylinder first, then you move to the front cylinder. You have to rotate the engine so that the piston is all the way to the top.
what we're doing here is, just so you know in a visual, these are collapsible. So we're trying to bring them down just till they touch first. What is that called? There's a term for that. Zero lash.
Yeah.
That's the term.
Then you have to adjust them 4 turns to get them where they're properly adjusted.
Yeah, so it squeezes it to the center of the tappet, because you have this much space. You want the thing to be in the middle here.
All right, so what were you doing all this time?
Yeah, that's zero lash. Zero lash. So now we lowered the adjustable push rod.
So it's just touching,
So
right?
it just touched the tip of the tap, and that's called
The top is also touching.
The top is also touching. So, and we got to the point where there's zero lash, where it can't move either up and down. It means it just touched it.
Got it.
You don't want to start tightening it. It's just got to be enough tighten till you feel the point where there has no movement.
So that you did right over there, and
Yeah.
now you marked it?
I marked one of the screws, and we're going to do 4 full turns, and that would be the adjustment.
Yeah, you have to hold the bottom on the top one, and then you just snug them tight.
How come it's so?
No, it's not. It's not. No, it's not. It's something's wrong. Something's wrong here. I don't know what the fuck is. That was a. Let's get it back to zero lash.
You're tightening it, that's why.
Yeah, but it's not.
Tighten the lock nut. You gotta push the lock nut
I did.
down.
I did. Like,
Push the lock nut all the way down.
I don't want to push it too down, so it.
Yeah, but you gotta push it down far enough where you can still twist that top,
Yeah, but it's twisting in the opposite directions. Okay. See, and this is not even the right size for that. What the fuck? I had my wrenches all over
got your
there.
glasses on, you haven't moved. All the wrenches you
Yeah,
got.
wait.
I didn't move anything out, everything you had.
Yeah,
That's too big.
So I did this. There we go, just enough to.
This thing was all the way on the bottom. Okay. So then it dropped down, and it dropped down inside the, you have to grab the magnet and bring it back up. What happened? It fell down. So I'll bring it back up. Back. There you go. Seen it. Mr. Holy Shift. There you go.
Are you at 0 lash? You're getting there? Is it moving down, Glenn?
Let you know in a second. Looks like it is.
No, you turning it without, you have to hold that one down.
Yeah, but if you hold that one down, then it tightens.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to keep loosening it. Let me see, push right.
You have to get a wrench all the way on the bottom to hold that.
No, that one you turn counterclockwise. This one
This
you
is
turn.
what we're doing wrong. Wrenches, and give me that 11.
All right, so obviously this
So you
is
get
a
11,
pretty,
12,
pretty,
11 and 12
pretty
for the rest.
tedious process.
It is, but that's just dropping the.
No, the bottom one, remember this one for here. All right, so Nedal, we're gonna skip the other ones because it's the same process.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
it's on through all 4 of them.
Okay, all right.
No, but there's an important note. Before we move on to the front cylinder, we have to wait half an hour for the tappets to bleed down.
Oh, really?
Before we rotate the motor. And how do we know that they're bled? When you can move them with your fingers. If
Really?
you feel this right now, you see how tight it is?
Yeah.
You can't barely move it. As it starts bleeding down,
It gets softer.
it's softer. And
All
then
right,
you
so
know
that's
to move on to the other cylinder.
Half an hour, did you hear that?
No, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
For it to bleed down so that you can move it with your hand, otherwise. you can't.
Don't wait, put the rest of them in.
I'm going to do the front one. I'm going to wait before we move on to the other
Explain that
cylinder.
again real quick, so why do we have to wait?
We have to wait for them in order to bleed down so it sets the right pressure. And then we turn the engine again to whatever the top dead center before we work on the other one. And how do we know that they're, when you can move these loosely? Now they're kind of tight.
Yeah.
But when you see that they're loosely, then they're, I don't know the terminology. You have to ask S&S, God bless them.
All right, so we're gonna skip this. This is all kind of the same thing. You heard the sort of technicality that has to happen here. I'll come back to you when we're close to finishing this last one here.
In the engine so we can put the front push
back
rods
top
in.
dead center
And
in
we
the
have to
front.
get these so they go up and down like this. This way we know that this is on the base circle.
All right.
Go one more time. You gotta.
Stick your fingers in there. Or
No,
feel-
no, no,
feel
no.
the rods.
You have to see the rods. If are they moving up and down? No, so we gotta go one more time.
Now they
There they
are.
are.
That one just moved.
Yeah, but is the bound and back one moving? No.
Keep going around one more.
There, that one just moved.
Okay.
Now they're both moving.
All right, so now
Yeah.
we're good.
Now they're both moving. Up and
All
down,
right, good.
up and down.
Yeah, now we're good.
Slide it back in first.
Yeah.
I thought somebody said blood. Yeah.
There we go. That one was easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And this part is showing always?
Yeah, that's because that's part
you need
here.
to pop it out.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, I never noticed that showing. The back is
Yeah.
nothing in the back, right? It's just
I'm thinking if we turn it a little bit just to, no, it's,
center it.
yeah, but, there we go. That's, you're gonna get that. I'm sorry, gentlemen, but you're gonna get that. You're gonna see that.
What? So
Because
why-
of the
it's always like
aluminum
that, right?
behind them, yeah, the aluminum.
Is it-
Unless you-
on the stock one, you wouldn't
No,
see that?
on the stock one, because it's a longer rod and it has a clip there, so you can take them out from there, the Harley
Oh, I
ones.
got you.
Now it's the pipe
Yeah.
going in.
Yeah.
Two-man job, just it's all the
First, you gotta see where.
fiddling around the studs are.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, while he does that, Nedal, so what, in terms of what's left here for us to do, so after we install the headers back, we don't necessarily have to show every step here now, because at this point, you know, the difficult part is done.
After this, you go with the mufflers, right?
After that, we put the muffler and we put the heat shields on.
Right.
Air cleaner, gas tank, seat, and start it up.
And start it
no,
up.
I have to program the dyno jet. It's already, the program's already there.
comes
That's
already-
2 seconds.
comes already programmed.
I did the oil already.
It comes already programmed. All right, so these guys are wrapping it up here, and they're putting back the muffler. They're going to put back the saddlebag, make sure they put the gas tank back on, and we're about to fire this beast up for you so you can see what this sounds like. So look, I hope you've really enjoyed an average individual's DIY perspective on this stage 2 build. I will tell you that I have learned a ton. As I've shared before in my videos, I am not mechanically inclined. And as you can tell from many of the questions that I was asking in this video, I had no idea this was so involved. From their perspective, and you heard it a lot in the video, this is a very easy process. I will tell you, for me, that's never done it, it's not as easy as it looks. So hopefully this video is going to help the average individual like me that has very low mechanical skills, so you can watch it step by step. And of course, as I referenced earlier, you always have the option of going into the more technical videos by many of the manufacturers of the parts that we're using on this video. So again, do me a favor, if you like it so far, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you can be reminded of future content. So let's see how this beast sounds right now. Now, with a full stage 2 kit complete, almost complete. So what are we doing here?
We're doing the tune.
So this is the tune, right? So
That's a tuner.
so that's your tuner right there?
Right here.
Okay. And how does this work? You just
We'll plug it in. It's all. Fuel Moto already sent me the tune,
okay.
and I downloaded it to the unit. And when we turn the bike on, it's all self-explanatory. I'll say low tune and just get this. I forgot about it.
Oh, that's right. We got to do the air filter. It's there it is.
And I put it together already.
Look at the size of that bad boy. All right, so this is the base for the air filter, right?
Let them help me install mine.
Yeah.
Finish up with
Is
this.
yours in? Was yours in there, Sandy?
That side?
Yeah.
I just put it in bigger.
Okay.
Make sure that it's,
Yeah, the 3 more.
So we had to loosen these out here so that way
We
these could
lined
be
up the
aligned
hole,
up.
yeah.
Yep. Okay.
You're in. Oh, that's my son.
So we're programming the map
You'll
here.
see it's easy. It'll say low tune.
It was good.
I think it's program vehicle, accept, low tune, custom tune.
All right. Verifying.
Nedal, we better keep our mouth
We have
shut
the
when we
second
get to
one,
the party.
The second one,
RDRS
yeah.
7,
There you go,
right
yep.
there.
Select. Continue.
Continue. Finish. Now it's gonna load the tune. Say yes.
It's nice, quiet.
All right. What does it say? Turn off key.
Yeah, we turn it off, and now we wait. By the time we put that on, everything will.
All right. We're almost there. We're going to start her up. All this work, by the way, 6-hour install so far.
Listen, don't
6 hour, give or take.
it's not 6 hours.
And it was 3 hours of Sandy talking
Gross.
and
6 hours gross. Net, it was like
Net.
45 minutes.
We had 2 before we started. Good.
2 6 slices of pizza,
Yeah.
1 shakshuka,
5.5 for
5
me.
bagels each.
There's bagels in there too.
Yeah. We're almost there. We're almost there. Check out that air filter, man. That thing is massive.
Wow, man.
Look at that thing.
That's how you know it's beast, right?
Massive. I didn't
Yeah.
even see you put it
Yeah.
on there.
That is huge. I'm impressed. I really am.
I'm not.
We ready?
You ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready.
Let's go.
Hold on. We're ready.
Turning over.
Houston.
Oh, we didn't connect the gas tank.
Oh, yes. All right. I'm leaving that in the video. He did that on purpose. He's just messing with my emotions. That's what he's doing. All right, everybody.
4 cameras.
Just know that you have to connect. You have to connect the gas tank before you start it. All right, we were too excited. All right, now we're ready.
Take 2.
Take 2. Let's do this again. Nice.
Real nice.
Awesome, man. Wow.
Brother.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you guys.
Wow, man. This sounds amazing. Amazing. What do you guys think?
Oh, God. Unbelievable.
You hear that?
The house is shaking. I'm like, whoa.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right, so there you have it. That is a 2021 Road Glide with full stage 2 upgrade on it. And that thing sounds freaking amazing. Amazing. Actually just wanted to let you hear the bike, hear how it sounds. Literally, we just finished the install. You saw some of that drama there towards the end. Make sure you connect the gas tank. But awesome job. Mr. Nedal did this all by himself. Obviously, we were here with him throughout the entire process. I hope you enjoyed the series of these videos. The next video that you're going to see, we're going to take this bike out for a full test ride. We would take you out today, but obviously it's raining. It's already dark. We've been here already for 6 hours. So you're going to want to stick around because you're going to want to check out this bike once we take it out for a spin. It sounds freaking amazing. Hopefully it does it justice in the video. So do me a favor, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification so you can be reminded of future updates. And stay tuned for the next one where we take this beast out for a ride.